What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. And I just want to come in because I want to leave just a little food for thought. You know, here today, we live in illusion. In this illusion, many of us think we're living a life of freedom and liberty. You know, because of what we might have achieved and got degrees and jobs, houses, or what have you, we think that this achievement represents living a life of freedom. You know, I want to get into this because I'm gonna show some YouTubers channels. I'm going to show the YouTube channels, and I want you to decide if this society in America, damn Erica is what I call it, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica, is a place that is conducive to your morality freedom, your mental freedom, your spiritual freedom. I just want you to ponder, and I want you all to stay with me because I know people like, yeah, what is he talking about, this and that. I know the youth don't understand because they haven't walked a mile yet in many people's shoes who are elders. But I was saddened today. I was very saddened today because of being hit with an overload of observing, watching how the youth are in despair. I've watched not only from my kids to friends' kids to neighboring kids have fallen away. I have watched the moral compass be put aside, covered up by society and what it tells everybody moral values should be. I have seen people's dreams, goals, aspirations be put aside, and directing your children, even adults, into places where they should not even be. Whether it's college, studying in certain areas, whether it is the jobs that one should take. This is a sad place that I see. But I want to show you all and let you see the devastation before our eyes. You see, when you are living in an illusion, you can't see the truth for what it really is. You cannot see or put your finger on the pulse of the country you're living in. It takes a special person to be able to remove themselves from a societal mindset and into a spiritual mindset to discern the actual morale or the so-called freedom, the joy that people have in your economy, in your neighborhood, in your system. But I want to share this with you all because I had a conversation with a friend yesterday. He's a man that is a minister in the church. I've known him for many years when I was in the military. And he recited this, this old reciting of what many have been indoctrinated to regurgitate out of the mouth of scripture. This same bull crap that, church folk has been saying for years, but you don't see no change in them. You don't see no change in their family. Matter of fact, you see them worse off than what they were. See, nobody wants to assess and measure their faith or hope or their belief in the results that is. Very few people want to do that. Very few people want to see what they're walking in. Is it truth? And if there's no result, why are you still walking in it? So I had this conversation with my friend. This is a man minister. He lost his child to drugs. He lost his daughter to, she is gay. His other daughter is out there in the world and trying to figure out and looking like all the rest of the women, dressed in like a prostitute. And he was left to raise his grandchildren. Two boys that I was sitting here as I was sitting at the park yesterday, and he's regurgitating this so-called Christian verbiage in scripture. And I'm like, dude, do you not see what's going on before you? Do you not see how we've lost our children, how many adults have lost their lives in this bullcrap thing called damn America, and what they told us how we should be living and what freedom and liberty is? Now, I couldn't come at him as far as the losses and where his children are, because, you know, some people just can't digest that. But when we see the devastation, the decrepitness of how the reason why I'm saying the youth is the future. It's easy to see the conditions of a country based upon the youth. Now, I know many people, because I shared with him yesterday, many people believe because you can go out look in the neighborhood you would live in, and you see the nice houses and the cars and the malls and the stores and the clothes, and everything looks grand. And when I was sitting there at the park, and I'm saying, look, man, I'm sitting here and I'm watching a mother push her children. I'm seeing kids slide down the slides. I'm seeing kids riding on their bikes. I see people jogging, but that is bullshit. When I know that behind these closed doors, it is hell going on. But we keep on as we do, as business as usual, and we will continue to live a life of a lie, as though that nobody is suffering. Everybody's got their lip zipped to what society has trapped us into believing, and that we really know that we are really under attack. I talked to a friend last week, and he told me his son got diagnosed with HIV. Rocked him to the core. And where you thought, where he lives in a high, predominantly expensive area, that he would not even be caught up in the mix of the way of the world and what goes on. But even his child got affected by society, being lost and trying to figure out what gender he belongs to, and got caught up with the wrong person, now got HIV. And I'm saying, don't anybody see what's happening? Don't anybody see the society we live in? We just freaking had a trans who just, and this is not about gays and all this right here, but we just had a trans who shot up a school, a girl who twisted in her mind, thought she wanted to be a boy, but a girl. What girls go kill kids? And we're not in a twisted society? You see, African-American confusion, lost in a American web of lies, we're the ones who actually will suffer worse. Well, how is that? How is it that we're going to suffer worse? You got to look at the fact of it is that when you are in a Western European society, when it takes care of, typically built by its own. When I say built, we're talking about the rules, the policies, the constitutions, the laws have been built by them, constructed by them. Anything we do, we suffer twice as worse. And it's typically our own fault. Especially when you think you've been accepted in a society that when you cross the line, in this very line that they cross, you get penalized a lot greater. And I'm also talking about the use of drugs, choosing the type of lifestyle that you want to live in, trying to embrace the same spirituality as those out there, and you see that you suffer way worse. How is it? And so I'm talking to my friend, and I tell him, I said, can't you see, man, what's happening? he's perplexed and he's trying to figure out which angle I'm coming at him with. And I'm like, you have a duty, man. You have a duty to protect these grandchildren that you're trying to raise, but you think you're going to get a different result raising them in a bull crap system that is after and attacking them on a constant basis. What else would we expect of our daggone children and our grandchildren when we send them into a system to their schools that indoctrinates them and the odds are placed so far against them? And as soon as I say go back to Africa, oh, I get pushback. Oh, he's saying that, you know, Africa is better and we can just go there and sing Kumbaya all for the rest of our lives and life will be grand. Well, I'll tell you this right here. You take it from me. It's a whole lot better place spiritually than it is over in daggone damn Erica. But what you expect us to do? Not everybody can go over to Africa, can you? The one thing that I know about black folk in America, we got all the excuses in the god doggone world. We rather act fools. We rather misbehave. We rather go ahead and deflect. We rather not stare the truth in the face and attack it versus deflecting and falling into this illusion that everything is all right. Even you all who have run to the suburban areas, living in the predominantly higher upper middle class livings, you even know that you're under attack. This is not no white against no black. This is a spiritual attack. And if you all have not been watching, please watch my videos, the ones I just did about America's system in the US dollar. You better pay attention very closely what is happening. Please go check out the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. You better go look that up. You better also go look up BRICS, BRICS. The B stands for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, S for South Africa, and now Saudi Arabia. And there are countries on the sidelines that is trying to connect with BRICS in order to remove themselves out of the US dollar by trading commodities or oil so that their economies can grow instead of America getting more and more powerful. And by removing the US dollar, do you know what that means? Because I just did a video saying you can move over to Africa and the US dollar is strong. Guess what? And here in the next 3 to 4 years, that's going to change. How will that impact you all? You're gonna know. See, I do business international. I buy property international for those who've been watching me long enough. I diversify. You see, this is what's happening beneath your nose, because if you're not into what's really going on internationally and you're only stuck on what's in your local news, when it all comes to a place to where you see you're just having just a smidget of what the meltdown is happening, when you see the banks are starting to fold, you're seeing all of these signs in these stores and stuff about help wanted. You're seeing the Dow Jones having and being weakened. The housing market has sputtered. People can't even sell their houses. The interest rate has just increased to another quarter. And you're saying, well, we've been through this before, been through recessions. Country has been through a depression, and America will overcome and achieve. Well, do you know what that means, though? If you really think America is going to cheat, there is a business and there is an organization that is out here trying to remove America from being the powerhouse. And how will Babylon or damn Erica, how will it lose its glam from around the world? How will it happen? It happens because of the moral fiber of where it stands. The people are lost. The people are in destitute. The people are in despair. When you see these, the youth is the future. This is how one can prophesy easily of what will happen to a system, a people, a place. It's based upon where the youth are. Now check this out. I'm gonna share my screen. And I'm gonna give shout outs to a couple of these YouTubers who are in various cities. One's in California, one is in Texas and Houston, one's in Atlanta, Georgia, and another one is out in, we'll get to that, I'll let you know here. We'll pull it up. But I want you to pay close attention to this, all right? Let me share my screen. This YouTube channel is called The Soft White Underbelly. And this channel here, this guy here who is a white guy who's had this channel out for some years, he talks to the people out who's on the street. He talks to drug heads, prostitutions, pimps. He talks to people who are just lost in their ways. He talks to people who just lost their jobs, could not afford to keep a house or an apartment, people who went through divorces, people who ran away, children who ran away from home, children who thought that they were smart to stay within the household, but yet they found themselves out in the streets gravitating to what the world has told them they can be free and don't have to listen to authority, don't have to listen to parents. And these are the people, these are the results of those that you see. I think that he has expanded his area of just beyond even LA. I think now he is in other states that he goes around to. Now, to think about it is interesting enough. You see more of the Caucasian, the white people. You're going to see some Hispanics. You're going to see some African Americans. But what you're going to see is that this is nothing more than the evidence of what is going on in your society in America. Do yourself a favor and go here to Soft White Underbelly. Listen to these people's stories, because these people are telling you how these households are, that when you drive down in your neighborhoods and you drive in these beautiful, rich areas, or you live in them, you think everything is okay. These people are going to tell you how they became psychotic, how they became out on the street. They're going to tell you, and you need to listen very closely. This is the evidence of what's going on in a country that you so love. There's just ignorance out here, I mean, somebody out here, wants to say they're exploiting people. You see, that's the ignorance of people. That's the deflection of the truth. Stop thinking about what somebody is exploiting and listen to what the person is saying. They're just getting these people's stories and they're not paying them money. You freaking fool. Listen what the people are saying. That's the blindness that people are in. See, they're so see, just like right now, y'all, let me tell y'all, let me just give y'all this right here's a gold nugget. See, the Trump trial, while you get caught up in that, you're not paying attention what's going on internationally and what they're doing to go ahead and weaken the dollar in America. You get caught up into the drama of Trump, you the one who get missed out. You're the one who misses out. You see, because I've been saying this message for the last 2 years. You best start to diversify and be able to have your money to go into other different countries or other systems in order for you to be able to go and get out of situations that might not be at the right place at the right time for you and where you want to be. Oh, I know that why Underbelly pays, but people say they, people are going to say they exploit them. They just don't. It's not about that. It's what about these people saying? But that's not it. Let me go ahead and share my screen because we got another YouTube channel. Let's continue on. For those who wants to know the heartbeat, how black folk getting sucked into the web of lies of believing that your life is a-okay, but yet you don't even realize what's happening around you. Please go check out this channel, Atlanta Street Interviews. This is a young man who's out here interviewing the people on the street. Now, here's a total demographics now. We just saw white people from the white underbelly or whatever. Now we're seeing black folk. This is in Atlanta. And when you see all of these young people on the street, I'm talking from 40s down, and listen to their stories, the prostitutes, the runaways, the drug heads, the criminals, the dope boys. When you see these people, when you watch and listen to these people, this is nothing more than what is happening either in your household or in your neighbor's household, and you will be able to discern that the health of this so-called country that you love, supposedly on the surface, is good. When all you got to do is listen to the people and see what's really going on. You see, many people that's being interviewed, there's some of them, especially those a little up in the age, they went to college. They had the jobs. How does a people fall off like that then? You see, you're going to hear this. This is another side of society that is forgotten, that they don't want to speak about. This brother, he talked to these people all day, every day. These YouTubers are giving you what's really going on. And when you hear these stories of the rapes and the violations that are going on within the households, when you're hearing about the abuse and the neglects that are happening in the households, a lot of these people, these kids come from middle-class families. And you think everything is grand. We think that everything is beautiful. And while you are not even spiritually equipped to discern what is slowly dying around you, you are playing Russian roulette with your kids because you are so selfish in your own, looking out for your own self, that you can't even prepare the things to come for and position yourself and your family in a better place. Let's move on to the next one. I'm giving props to these young men out here on the street who are interviewing these people, because ain't no woman out there on the streets doing this. I think this is too dangerous for a woman out here on the street to do. This channel right here is called Pull Up and Chat. This brother right here is in Houston, Texas. And he's interviewing all of them. You're going to see the whites, the Hispanics, the blacks. You're going to see the African. You're going to see the Chinamen. You're going to see, he interviews whoever is out there on the street. And to listen to the loss of the future, it is mind-boggling. It is mind-blowing. It is an eye-opener. When you see and listen to these people, For those who are from other countries, who's screaming to come into America, who's thinking America's the greatest country in America, the greatest country in the world, you need to rethink and really start researching what's happening in America. You see, America loves to show, Hollywood loves to show movies, always in the higher upper echelon class. They always love to show the beautiful cars or the big houses and the fast living in the high skyscraping apartment buildings and stuff. They don't show you the groundwork. They don't show you what's on the ground. They don't show you the truth. This is what your children and their children's children, your grandchildren, them are up against. This is what society has pulled your children, even the young adults in the 40s. I call them young. I'm 56 years old. You look at it, story after story after story. He got the elderly. He got the 50-year-olds, the 60-year-olds, the 40-year-olds. He's got them all. And when you listen to these stories, how do these people fall off? These people were just like you. And I hope the young people listen, because see, the young people, you see, hey, it hit my household. When you got these kids thinking that they know it all and they can just walk, they like, I want to do it myself. Well, okay, all right, see you later. They go out in the streets and they got to find out for themselves. You see, we don't understand what we up against, but yet we can sit here and scream and claim and party and drink and smoke and all this stuff here and act like everything is okay when I know. My wife's a physician. She comes home every day talking to her sick patients. And majority of them are mentally sick. Alcohol, she says, the #1 destroyer in all the patients she's seeing. Then she's got the drugs. When I say alcohol, let me put weed up there. Because see, if they told you a lie that weed is so innocent. Now I'm gonna watch now those who are viewing, they don't drop off now. Because see, you see, when truth comes, people like to run. There's that sickness, she said, that so many weed smokers who are coming in now. Hey, babe, what's the term you said that the weed smokers are coming in who can't hold down food and throwing up? No, what's the name of those who smoke marijuana and you said that they can't hold down the food? What's that medical term? Huh? It's called what? Hyperemesis? Hyperemesis. How you spell that? Hyperemesis. Y'all look that up. For y'all weed smokers out there. And the thing about it is, it's causing them to be delusional. This is weed. Everybody thinks it's so. See, this is the world, what they told you. Weed is so innocent, they say. But why is somebody put hyperemesis. Thank you very much, Janet. I appreciate you. I can show that to the people. For all of those up there thinking it's so innocent. All these things happen around us and we are nosediving to the depths of the depths, to the pit of hell. Hyperemesis, y'all look that up. Because here it is that she says, my wife, who's a physician, who sees patients every day, she's a doctor, for those who don't even know what physician means. Alcohol and weed, the #1 issue people are having: anxiety, depression. They having what you call it? I just lost my mind. Just having the mental issues. Then drug. Let me back that up too. For you women, let me put it right here. The women, y'all wine drinkers. You wine drinkers. I already got it. What is that? Oh, that's what it's called. Oh, okay. This is what she says called cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. Huh? A hyperemesis. See, I can't. Y'all look that up right there. For y'all like love smoking weed, this is the issue. She said this right here is like getting straight out of hand. She's seeing more and more cases. Cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. For you women who drink wine, she said that is the number one women coming in with the complaints of being dependent on their alcohol, their dependency. They drink wine. They think wine is not alcohol. They think wine is innocent. Babe. She's gonna be like, he keeps calling me. Babe. I want to share what the cocktail drug she said that these women are hooked on. And a lot of them try to, when their doctors don't prescribe it to them, these women hop from shop to shop trying to get the drug. They call it the cocktail to make them relax at night. And this is majority in the white community of the women who use this. Let me text message her. And yet we see and we think that the world is so great, but behind these closed doors, y'all know y'all suffering. Y'all know y'all hurting. All this violations going on and children being raped. Why? Because I'm showing y'all. I got 2 more to show y'all. I think 2 more. I got 2 more of these YouTubes to show you. You listen to these kids being raped in their households, being violated, being neglected by their own mamas and daddies. It's sick. This is a sick country. And for you to even think that your child's going to make it in this society healthy. Oh, shout out to my brothers and sisters who got the hell out of America. That so many of the families that I know that are in Africa that I've run across. I've been to 26 countries and I've met so many of the people coming from UK, Europe, Canada, America, who said they had to get the hell out to save their families. Shout out to you all. That's a heroic move. Let me text my wife real quick. She downstairs. She must be in the bathroom. Hold on 1 second. Y'all think about that. Because I know I probably got some European women on here and they might be on this right here so they can know that this whole thing that everybody's walking outside their front doors, smiling and putting on airs and acting like everything is okay is a bunch of bull. But the problem of it is that many of us African Americans are lost into the sauce. We're lost into the web of lies here in damn Erica. Put the D in front of America and capitalize the E. Damn Erica. And don't even realize that you are caught and stuck into it. I tell my kids, I used to tell my kids all the time, you can't grade your own report card. When I see something in you and I share with you that what I'm seeing in you, you can't say, no, I'm not like that. Huh? That's like a person trying to diagnose their own sickness. And that's what many of us do. I'm a good person. I'm about positivity. I like good vibes and all that. And they're the most devilish people. I'm about help and those are our most devilish people because the only thing they can see is that they are just a good person. How can you sit and diagnose your own self? How can a sick mind diagnose a sick person? How can that be? I mean, really, when you think about it. My wife just responded back. Yeah, Xanax. That's it, Xanax. She said these women be up here shopping around for that Xanax, even men too. But see, in the Caucasian side of the world, see the women, they drink that wine, but they want the Xanax pill because it puts them in their state of illusion. You know, black folk, they want to smoke their weed, drink their wine. The women do. The men want to smoke their weed. They want to go ahead and drink that whatever. And those who are even feeling more pain, they want to go to the, to the heroin, to the cocaine, or to the crack, or to the opioids, or whatever. And this is all around us. You will not believe who are all on this stuff because my wife sees them. You would not believe the professions that they work in who are stuck on these things. You would not believe who are suffering mentally in positions in some of these professions that you would be like, yo, they don't need to be in that position. And they're all suffering. Xanax is not an opioid. Excuse me. My wife had to correct me. Love my wife, you know. But it's Xanax. This is the drug that she says that is hunted down by those women who wants to have their calm, cool, and whatever, you know. But let's go on to the next YouTube to show you, because I just showed, I think, 2 of them. I'm about to show a couple more. I might have shown 3. Let me see, 1, 2. Yeah, I've shown 3. Let me get to the 4th one. Let me get to the 4th, this YouTube channel. These people are out here on the street, these YouTubers interviewing these people out on the street. Listen to the stories. This is the heartbeat of America. This right here is just a small percentage of the thousands that they've interviewed of what's really going on behind the scenes in these houses. But nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to listen. This right here, YouTuber, his YouTube channel is called Tales from the Streets. This guy right here, he'll interview just anybody that's out on the streets. And I cannot remember if he goes from state to state. Let me see here. He just got this channel. We go out and try to figure out what's happening to America. Why is there so many homeless and why the problem keeps growing? He's got over 780 videos. Tales from the Streets. Do yourself a favor. Sit down with your kids and your grandkids and you sit back and you listen. To these people's story. Let me bring up these other ones so that y'all can see. For those who just came in, let me share my window. So I'll repeat for those who just came in. Go check out the channel. Pull up and chat so that you can get an idea. An idea of these people on the street. This young man here is down in Houston, Texas. And he's interviewing these people. Listen to their stories. Listen to how they've been affected. This channel right here is called the Atlanta Street Interviews. Predominantly black folk, the youth, the young age, the middle age, all of these interviews. He does a great job. He's even reconnected a lot of people. I ain't gonna say a lot, but he's definitely connected some people with their family members. These young ones that have ran away from home and realized they made a bad decision, as well as those that got caught up in the mix. And then listen to this right here, this YouTube channel. This is the largest one, been around for some years. Soft White Underbelly. for those white folk who don't think it doesn't affect their community as well. He interviews all kind of people, but you're gonna find majority of these people are on Skid Row or out in the street. I think he's expanded his channels too to other states. Check it out. Soft white underbelly. And yet we can sit here and act as though America's the greatest country. And you following fools. You're following these jokers who are on podium, behind podiums and sitting on stages and talking about, yes, you Republican or you Democrat, vote for me. Who don't give a dang about you. How is it African Americans get lost in the sauce of America's lies, webs of lies? It's because we have fallen into this whole mindset of whatever is going on with them should be going on with us. Now I'm going to say, thank you, Daryl Lee, Canyon. Thank you. I appreciate your heart of giving. I'm going to say this right here. This ain't about white and black. You know, white against black and black against white. That's not at all. Let me say this right here. No, what I'm saying is this right here. I'm 56 years old, okay? I've been around more than half of my life. And I've seen fads, trends, and situations happen that come around in circles. And I've had to, for 11 years, I had to really take a step back and really study a history, observing people, looking at my life and how things used to be, how life used to be and where it is today. And when you see that it is rolling out of control, that it is affecting everybody's family. But when I go over here to other countries, they are not even in the place of the mess that we're in here, damn Erica. You see, when I sit back and say, go back to Africa, because I've shown the world my channel, but then you get the pushback because everybody's like, oh, well, you just making it. You why? Here you go. Here's one right here. Why do you want to talk about America? If America's now is all so bad, why do you keep coming back? Because I can. Because I got 3 places overseas out of the country, about to get the 4th. You see, I am a free bird. I can fly and go outside of America and live in my properties. You see, I'm making way for my kids, one brick at a time. Everybody think, you know, I've said this time and time again, you know, everybody's, well, I mean, you know, what's wrong with America? I mean, you know, you work and you live and you know, we own our houses and our cars and we have everything. No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't you tell me that lie. Less than 1% of Americans own their house, means they don't have no mortgage. See, they told you to lie that you own your house when you're paying on a mortgage. How stupid is that? It shows how the ignorance that you got, because you took on that ignorance. I own my house. I had a woman argue with me up and down. Well, no, not really. You see, she didn't want to admit that she was wrong in her own stinking thinking. She could not admit that her house she's paying a mortgage on, she does not own. How do you own a house that you're paying a mortgage on? You don't own it. Stop paying that money and see how long it takes for them to put that eviction notice on the front door. How do you own a home, even if you paid off the house and then you stop paying them taxes, that they can put a eviction? You're taking your property. But this is what they do. Let me hip y'all to the game, because a lot of y'all don't understand the game. You stop paying your taxes. I just did a video on this the other day. But you stop paying your taxes. What do? They're going to go ahead and put that out there in the courtyard, right? The courthouse, they'll have, and they typically do, most states do it once a month, where people can come in and purchase who's behind in their taxes. You in turn will get a notification from the city to say somebody paid for your taxes, because most states, depending upon, might be 1 year, got to get behind, 2 years, or 3 years. If somebody comes in and pay for your taxes, you have to pay interest on top of what you were behind in. And if you do not, they get your property. Now you tell me how you own your home. Because here's the game. Because see, I've had rental properties in America. And here's the game. You see, when the COVID happened and the businesses, they weren't operating because everybody was at home. In the cities, they depend on taxes. And they depend on taxes not only from residents, but also businesses. But when businesses was not collecting money from their employees, where do they get that money to pay for their employees, the government employees? You got to pay for the firemen. You got to pay for the police officers. You got to pay for the city's administrators. You got to pay for those contracts that are out there that people doing. How do you pay these people when you don't? You raise taxes. And this is what Nashville did. They raised taxes almost on a quarter more on property taxes. I got 3 properties in 2 different states. 2 different countries. There's no such thing as property tax. You don't pay property tax. So what happens then? See, you work your tail off thinking you're going to pay for your house, but then you forgot one thing. See, they can raise property tax. And then, of course, you'll still be in a better place because you don't have the mortgage. But what happens though? Because see, most Americans, by statistics, between 7 and 9 years will move into another house. They either increase because of they've enlarged their family, or they might want to downsize because their children are gone. Either way, or they want to get in a better neighborhood, upgrade their house into a better place between 7 and 9 years, which means you will never pay off your house. Which means then, because you're playing this game, 7 to 9 years, you buy into another house, 7 to 9 years, buy another house. And before you know it, the 30 years that you pushed yourself out, because if you bought a house and you want to make sure it's paid off before retirement, which is sad to say, well, you can retire at any age, which I'll get to that in a minute. But most people think that they got to retire at the age of 65. That's the lie they told you. So even then, if you bought your first house at the age of 30 to 35 and you didn't sell your house, or you did not buy another house, you kept that house and you got a 30-year mortgage, you would be 65 when that house is paid off for. But because they told you a lie and they want you to believe that you got to hang with the Joneses and that you should be climbing the ladder. You start with a starter house, then you get into a bigger house, and then you get into a bigger house. Right? And you always find yourself in debt. I've seen people do this. And what you do, you push yourself further along. So now when it was 30 years, if you was 30 years old and you got a 30-year mortgage and you kept your house until you was 39, guess what? You buy another house, now you don't push yourself further into the age. So now you're 40 years old, put 30 years on that. And if you kept the house, you'd be 70 years old. But here's the lie they told you. See, I fully retired at the age of 47. See, I dusted them jokers off because I didn't fall into the lie. Oh yeah, you reach retirement and you're 60, you're 65, you go into the age of retirement. When Social Security is not even a retirement. I mean, people don't even understand how Social Security works. You get what, a third of the money that you made of your monthly income or your annual income. Not even that really, but they put it in a monthly of the last 10 years that you worked. And all it is there for is to defray the cost of expenses that they will give this to you, which who's going to live off of, 30 years from now, $2,000 a month? So the lie that they tell, you see these webs of lies that they tell that many African Americans don't even understand, because we don't even want to go out and to understand. We have to research for our tomorrows and our hopefully better days. You see, people ain't into no international news. Who's going to know about some SCO? Who's going to know about the BRICS? Who's going to know about, these things that are happening that has an effect on economies? Who's going to know about that unless you go out and you really pay attention and start to research and look beyond going to a club and smoking and drinking and trying to have your fun, when you don't realize that the jobs are nosediving. Jobs are getting rid of people. When you have a country in debt and all of a sudden you're in a time like this right now where interests are high, people are not getting loans, people are not buying houses, people are not purchasing like they used to because everybody's saving $1. What happens to the business? The business makes a cut in employees because they have to at least cut the cost of the losses they incur by the people who are not buying, which has an effect on you because now your job is in jeopardy and you might lose your job. And just like I showed you with these four YouTubers who are out here on the streets showing you the homelessness, and they talk to people just like you. How did you find yourself homeless when most of you all are one paycheck from homeless? Let's look that up. I forget the numbers. What is the average bank account for Black folks in America? What is their balance? Let's look this up and see. Let's see, because this topic is not popular. Everybody wants to know. This topic is not popular. Now listen to this right here. Let me share this with you all, because see, this is not popular because everybody wants drama. Everybody wants the garbage. Let me share my screen with you. Just look it up so that you can be educated. Look at this right here. Average savings by race and ethnicity. The whites have a median bank account balance of $8,200 or a mean bank account balance $51,510. What is the blacks? The blacks have $1,510. Now check this out. The Hispanics got more than you. You mean to tell me that the average median bank account balance is $1,500? That's one paycheck from homelessness. You see, while you riding around in your $70,000, $80,000 vehicle, and you got your Louis Vuitton, you got your Gucci, you got your expensive, clothings and all that stuff right there, that you don't have no concern of your tomorrows. You don't even know how to budget or save. You see, back then, when I was young, I was dumb too. I used to stay broke until somebody introduced me to the idea of budgeting and putting money aside. You see, that was back then when I started to listen to the Dave Ramsey's, the Susie Ormans, who else was back then? These people who were talking about finances and getting out of debt, and these people who I was like, hold up, I don't hear this topic. Black folks definitely wasn't talking about this topic, because Black folks typically will spend every penny they got and then go borrow. I know the truth hurts, but it's just the truth. I like that, Yudelman. The best tie is the most tie. Let me put that up there. This is what Black folks do. And yet when I sit and talk about finances and budgeting, or I say this right to people, it's like, look, all you got to do is, look, hit me up, because people are sending me emails all the time. Well, can you call me and can you talk to me? No, my time's too precious for that. I'm too busy. You can set up a consultation, but many people don't think many people like, oh my God, he's consultation, $225 for 30 minutes or $300 for an hour. Is your future worth that? I don't want to get on that because then people think this is only going to be about me trying to sell myself, which I've told people before, I don't need your money. It's just when the demand comes in and I really don't want to do something, I try to put it up in the price to where it hurts somebody to see how serious they really are and taking my time. Because see, I know my worth. I know what my time is worth. And that's why I tell my brothers and sisters, you better know your worth. Because once you get in positions, people will waste your time. And your time is money. But let's get back to the black bank, the black bank accounts. Average person having $1,500 for the median bank account. You lose your job and you in a hell of a problem. You know you in serious problem. And when you go back to these YouTube channels that I show these people up here talking to these homeless people, and they talk to some of these older ones and like, yeah, I used to be this field. I used to be in that field. And you don't even realize that you are one bank account from homelessness. Look, I'll lay a free game on some of you all right there who might be concerned. You see, I have one of my daughters, right? I got two daughters and I got a son. My son's 35, my daughters are 24 and 23. And I told them before they left college 2 years ago, my daughters, so let me tell you something. You better do right by your money. Don't be listening to what this world be telling you. You see, America will tell you that you ain't nothing unless you have the bling and the glam and all this stuff right here. You better make sure, first and foremost, you save at least 6 months of your cost of your debts, all added up. You best at least save 6 months. I'm giving y'all some game right now, T. I'm just trying to help y'all out because y'all thinking that everything is grand right now and it's about to drop here in a minute. Well, what can I do? I mean, I don't have. Yes, you do. Stop drinking and smoking and shooting and snorting and stop eating and all of this wasteful spending. You got money to save. If I did it, you can do it. I'm not nobody who's mom and dad left them a silver spoon. My mom and dad gave me zero. Matter of fact, left me with debt. My dad, he didn't leave us with nothing. But what you can do is prepare for your tomorrows. This ain't no scare tactic. This ain't nothing right here to try to get you all worried up and all right there. If you get your tail up out of the bed every day to go to work, why not, when the check comes in, respect it enough to pay yourself first before going out paying somebody else? Start with 10%. Because, somebody told me when I started out back then, get on the 70-30% rule. Used to be the 80-20. But extend yourself further. Live off 70 of your check, put 30% away. And that 30% don't go towards anything that takes money out of your pocket. It should be going towards something that puts money in your pocket. But the first and foremost thing is to get you a safety net or a security net where you can fall on. If you lose your job, you would have 6 months of money in the bank account to sustain you until you find another job. 6 months. Why do I need 6 months? See, my daughter now, she had a rude awakening when she lost her job. And guess who she called for help? And guess what I told her? No, not helping you with your rent. You already knew. I gave you the gold nugget and you can either pick it up or you can freaking kick it aside. And what you chose to do was kick it aside. And that's the problem with a lot of us who sit around here and getting caught on American webs, is that we keep kicking the gold nuggets aside when people like me who are out here trying to hip you to the game of life. And I'm watching all these people who are becoming homeless after homeless after homeless, caught in drugs, getting caught in drinking spells and all, getting caught up in the diseases, making bad choices, all of this mess. James Woods, nobody ain't gonna like this video. Look, Look, I don't ask people to do likes and all right there because people don't know what likes mean today. They think it's got to tickle their fancy. You see, they worried about, I don't like it. Instead of the fact that even though I don't agree with them, this could also help somebody else. Let me go ahead and like this so that the algorithms can get it out here to other people. You see, people are selfish. So I don't need to beg people for no likes. I figured that game out before. I don't have to tell people to like. It's only for the message that is agreed to the person who is receiving it. Everybody else, that's why you only see less than 10% of likes on videos, because everybody is selfish about themselves. They don't care about nobody else. This is when you're in a capitalistic society, when it's about me, my, I. Don't care nothing about nobody else. But I'm trying to spread a message so that it can wake people up. But no, keep kicking that gold nugget aside, because you're one paycheck from homeless. You are one paycheck from homeless. And we are living right now in the times that they've been telling you and screaming that dollar is getting weak. Look, we're about to go into this recession, depression. Look, their jobs are going to start to plummet. Look, and guess what? It's going to be time to pay the piper. And when the piper comes to collect, you are losing yourself all in your debt. Parents ain't gonna teach the kids charity. Why the parents gonna teach the kids when black folks still remaining ignorant? They think it's better to drive with a $70,000 car than to be able to teach their kids about credit scores, teach their kids about maybe the investments, how to budget your money, open accounts for their children, show them how to go ahead and get into the 70-30% rule. You see, their parents ain't doing that. Ignorant. Everybody concerned about themselves. You got these mamas out here, these daddies out here who wants to look rich, but bank accounts are poor. You see, you got people out here who wants to smell good, look good, drive good, but bank accounts are broke. Because you got caught up in America's web of lies. You see, when I told my daughter, no, you got to figure it out. You better figure it out. Because you lost your job and you didn't listen what I told you, you better go figure it out. She called me every name in the book. Matter of fact, she told me, she said, I was worse than a deadbeat dad. She said, oh, my friends helped me, this and that and that. See, this is what happened when you raise your kids up in upper class and you think you helping them and then they become entitled. You sacrificed everything for your kids to have an up than anybody else. And all you did was bring up a snotty-nosed, entitled kid. I used to say that was one of the worst things I should have done, was go and buy a house in this upper class neighborhood and then getting them into the right schools and making sure this and that. And I'm grinding my ass off. I'm working freaking 3 jobs and I'm doing all this sacrifice so that they can at least have a step up. It's not appreciated. That's what society tells your kids. Forget your dad's sacrifice. You should get more. So she curses me out and calls me every name in the book, calls me you're less than a deadbeat dad. Wow. Interesting. I wonder how many parents give you a $5,000 check when you walk across the graduation stage for your gift. I wonder how many parents do that. But then you got these silly ones out here because they watch the world. And this is the war that parents got to go through, watching the world, watching out for the world to try to overtake your children. And then we're not even on our games, ensuring that we keep the outside world from the inside of your house. The music, the TV. You see, I did all that there. So my kids were brought up in a wholesome environment. Though our house was a wreck between me and their mother, being at odds, I'm saying. Got a divorce and all that stuff there. Fell in the hands of their mama. Now, I ain't going to try to beat up on mamas, but I'm going to tell you this right here. You know what, women? Y'all need to give the children to the fathers. Because we already see the results of these kids out here who's coming from single mother homes. Now, this is not just to beat you up, but the thing about it is this right here. Why not give the men a trial and see if things change around? Now, I ain't trying to beat you women up now. I'm just saying, watch these videos of these YouTubers who's done it on these homelessness, and they're talking to these youth out here in the homes they're leaving from. I'm just saying. If you disagree with what I say, I'm putting the link in the chat. What's your thoughts? I'll open it up for some questions. Don't need to hear nobody preaching. Don't need to hear your philosophies and all that right there. If you got a question you want to ask, please, by all means, ask. It's a free consultation to you. Because you go to goblack2africa.com and you can set up a consultation for anything. Got a wealth of knowledge, and I got contacts, and I've been places, and I know where to get answers if I ain't got the answer. But I do know this right here. Oh, for what most people really want on an elementary or a middle level or even a high level of education, I can at least steer you in the right direction, because this world here is going to stir you in a total different direction. What's up, old school? How's it going?
Hey, it's going, bro. I don't know how, but it's just going. Every time I wake up every morning, it keep on going. I don't know how. I just think it's God. What do you think?
You what?
I think it's God that got it going, bro. What do you think? I don't know how it's going. I just know it's going. That was the question you asked me. How is it going? I know it's going.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, it's going, man. It's going the Most High's way. What you got for me?
Hey, yo, man,
question?
This is really what I want to do. I be watching your shows all the time because I be seeing how you be going to Africa and everything. Remember, Africa's a continent, not a country. But I be seeing how you be doing that and you be associated with the peoples. And then I see how you message really don't be towards the peoples out there where you at, the continent that you standing on. Then at that time, it'd be back to here. But it'd be back into a derogatory way to a point where, a lot of people would agree with you. But then a lot of people wouldn't agree with you because there's hope. And like you said before, things are finna change right now. It's finna get real bad. And you in yourself, in your spirit, you trying to warn us of that and continue to do the right thing. But the point is this, when that time comes, Christ is going to be the one to that. Whether you be a good and faithful servant, that's on you. But Christ is going to be the one of that. In your ways, you shouldn't be. My point is to this.
You got a question, brother? Brother,
in your ways, it's
brother.
Go ahead.
I'm asking, do you have a question?
Yes. In your ways, my question is, why are you so judgmental?
Why am I? In which way am I judgmental?
Because it's profitable.
Which way am I judgmental? What you mean?
Towards your own, to the people that you call yourself talking to right now, to have your subscribers, because you got one half that agrees with you and you got another half that's quiet. Yeah. But you realize you have to talk, you're talking to a certain people. And then you go into your family background about your children and how you raised them and where they are now. So that's personal.
So your question is what?
Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? Because and I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate your question and even the words that you were sharing there. I'm going to answer that. I appreciate you. I'm going to put you off, though, okay?
Okay, go ahead. And I appreciate you, and I love you, and I'm going to keep subscribing, and I'm going to keep watching you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Brother, I'm going to stalk you. I don't care where you at.
I appreciate you, brother.
And I love you.
Love you too, brother.
All right, have a good day.
Yep.
And a good show.
Yep, thank you. Well, yeah, he asked the question. Why I do what I do? Why am I sending this message out to our people? This message is only going to fall on those who have an ear to hear. Matter of fact, it's not going to even drop on a color of a skin. I've had white people who's sent me some emails talking about the fact that I listened to your show and what you say is true. I'm looking for a different place to go. But because my channel that I have is Go Black to Africa, now my other channel that also I am actually recording this on too is the Grandfather of Wisdom, is when I know that those who have the melanin that I have been put in the backside of society, mistreated, used, and abused, that there must be those who have to come forward and speak that word of life into a people who's been dead by walking in a country that really is all about the evil. This message that is being shared, will only fall on those who are willing to hear. It doesn't reach everybody. There's going to be those people who totally disagree. Oh, he talking about Africa. We're not Africans. This is America. Well, die with America then. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to those type of people. I'm talking to those people who really know the truth of the matter in the situation that they're in. That the system that is in place was never made for you, but yet made against you. And the only thing people want to measure that the system is fair is by the amount of money that they're making, which I keep telling people, they got you fooled already when you think that, oh, life is fair because I got this job. I'm making this money. I can move into a neighborhood where they are. I go to a restaurant where they eat. So all is good. Well, sorry, Charlie, I'm here to tell you, if you know anything about history, have you heard of white flight? Let me tell you this right here. Let you and 10 more families move into that white area. I guarantee you they're going to go search out another neighborhood. Now, they're not going to come out and say that. But I've seen it happen time and time again over my 56 years. You see, come on now, y'all. If y'all been vigilant and been watching, when you go into places that you know is predominantly white, and once black people get the word and they start going and it become a more number, don't you watch that the whole demographics of that restaurant or that area changes? It changes. Why? Because they're going to go move on where they feel comfortable, be around their own, and that don't have to be a part or be affiliated with those who they're just so that is a stranger to them, that's unknowing to them. This is not to rag on anybody that's white. It's just the way it is. It's just how it's been. Link is in the chat for those who got a question. Please, call in if you got a question. That's what I'm looking for those who have questions. If you disagree, please, by all means, disagree and let me know. Why do you disagree? If you believe America's the great country, please convince me then. Tell me why you think. Let's have that conversation. Wesson Webb, what's happening, my brother?
Go Black, man. What a blessing to see you, man.
Yeah.
I just been planning and waiting to speak to you for so long, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here from Chicago. I'm 22 years old, just made 22, right? And for the past few years, I just been fiending to get to Africa, bro. Something's been in my ruach, blessing from the Most High. Something's been telling me to just go home, bro. Like, get out of here. I seen a lot of my friends die. I seen a lot of people die. But I said all that to say this. There's a barrier to entry for people of my age, right? Even your daughter's age, right? I don't have a way. Like, I have a way, but I don't have a way, right? It's not as easy as, it was for my parents. I didn't go to college, right? I don't have, like you said, I don't have parents to give me money. I wasn't spoon-fed. I came from the South Side. I came from a struggle, right? So I'm investing. Yeah, I'm investing into Bitcoin. I'm investing into NFTs. I'm investing into different things and streams of income, but there's a real barrier to entry, brother, on how to get there. So I was going to ask you, what steps can you recommend for a person that's my age or the age group that I am in to navigate that path? These are crazy waters, bro. I don't know how we can do it, but I know that we need to do it, right? I got all types of dreams and visions and aspirations for when I get there, right? But I need a way there. I need, almost like a safe house. I need.
Okay. I got you.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question right here. You got a passport?
You want to see it?
Oh no, I don't need to see.
So,
I'm just asking a question. You got a passport?
so yes, sir. I got a passport. I got to go to China before, so that really opened my mind and showed me, man, it's a lot more to this world. Don't listen
Okay.
to them. It's a lot more.
Okay, so you were able to find. How were you able to get to China?
I was blessed by the Most High, right? My school had a trip. My father paid for it. My father allowed me to go there, right?
Yeah.
He put that money forward. Now I plan on being this December through my own means and through, you know, the blessing of the Ilhim to go to Africa, Ghana specifically, or multiple countries in Africa from December to January, saving all my money to go down there and just network and just meet people and just,
Okay,
man,
so
in
you
Chicago.
just answered your own question. Then you're saving money. You're asking how, if you do not have the means to get to Africa, how do you go? So you did step one. You got your passport. You know,
Right.
two, it's going to be financially. So you're going to have to go ahead and put money together in order to get aircraft, airplane tickets and hotel expenses and food while you're there. So I mean, many of us, we act as though that we don't have the means of getting or doing something. But I find that in the Black community, we're able to do what we want when we want to do something. We can get what we want when we want to get it. It's just that when it comes to something that we will find a reason or an excuse not to do, it makes it seem impossible. Now, you're the one who mentioned about the Most High and all that there. So we already know all things are possible when it comes to that. So my thing is this right here. I'll say this for you and the youth. If people would really take a look at their life, everything that you achieve, came from you speaking it. Everything that you did not achieve and whatever, you will find that you probably spoke against it, quit on it. You decided not to do it, whatever. You had the power always that was in you. Most people to do these frivolous prayers. And I tell people pray wrong. People always want to pray for God to give them something instead of the idea. Give me the idea. Give me the knowledge. Give me the wisdom. Give me the know-how. Give me the understanding. When you pray for those two things, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, when you're praying for that, that's what makes the way. Because everything else doesn't matter, because it's really cheating the game. And we already know that the Most High doesn't cut corners. So it's about how do you obtain or get to where you want. It's going to take you to have the knowledge, standing on the principles, which is the wisdom, or the commandments, the laws, the statutes, and then having the understanding. Why is it that what you want? Because a lot of people ask for stuff in a miss. They ask for things off of being ask for things in vain. They ask for things out of jealousy, envy. They ask for those things, and when it's not even really in the right, they're not in the right spirit of requesting and asking. If you said that you heard that the Most High tell you and gave you the thoughts of Africa, that path will be laid out for you by giving you the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding. And those youth, that's what I would say, in order for you to make your life much more prevalent and prosperous, is that leaning and surrendering into the Most High. That's first and foremost. That's the hardest thing a man could ever do. It was for me.
Facts.
That was the hardest thing for me to submit. Men always talk about women submitting to themselves. I want a woman to submit to me. Well, hold up, brother. Who do you submit to, though?
Facts.
So then once you get into that place of submission, it's going to open up.
And I think that's one of the hardest things, especially as me being a real young man like this. You already know how I get uphill. You know what I'm saying? Especially growing up in a big city like Chicago. It's hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard. There's so many things shining and everything sparkling and coming your way. What's good, brother? How you feeling? But especially during these times, bro, I've been feeling like time is running out. I don't know why I get that feeling. I had the revelation says in the end times, I'm gonna send you dreams. I'm gonna send you, I'm gonna give your young man dreams and visions, right? And I've been having dreams and visions, bro. And I will tell you, it's scary. I've been feeling like time is running out for me so bad. Like,
well, it is.
I don't know where to go. Like when I get there,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it all depends on your perception of the time running out. What is the time running out in that chapter of your life? The things that you might doing. Time is running out in your way of thinking or the way you behave, your character. Those things die. Those things slowly begin to dissipate when you're trying to grow. You know, old things pass away, right? New things or rebirthing comes, right? You know, time does run out. Hopefully in that good way, because, you know, we think that things are supposed to remain the same all the days of our life. And it's growing that head of Christ, as one would say, you know, that spirit of God on you. So that's what I have for you, my brother. Let me pass the mic. I appreciate you, my man. And definitely shoot me an email at goblacktoafrica@gmail.com. When you make that trip to Africa or you get your plane ticket, let me know. All right, I think I lost contact with him. All right, my next guest up in here, Father Ha Satan. What's good?
Peace and prosperity. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, my brother. What you got for me?
Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you for all of the information. You one of the first brothers on YouTube that has educated me on the level that I have been educated on, because I have a family of 8, and I'm about to get to a place where I'm financially comfortable. And one thing I've learned from watching your channel is the money that's here in America, you can think it's comfortable, but it can run out in like 10 years, right? But over there, it'll last 100 years. And you'll be doing business with your own people, which is more fortified. But I think there's an elephant in the room that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and that is religion when it comes to, like, let's say those 5 houses that just got tore down in Ghana. Nobody mentioned that those houses were owned by Hebrew Israelites. And one of the things that I wanted to mention on that is I spoke with a brother a while ago. Am I wrong with that?
Well, brother, I'm really opening the floor up to questions.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this question. I'm sorry. Religion, how much does it play a part in how Africans, our brothers from Africa, deal with the brothers from the diaspora coming over there?
I don't know. Let me ask you this right here. What is your definition of religion?
Well, my definition of religion is one who is reconnecting with the divine. However you're doing that. Some people use Islam to reconnect. That's what religion means, to reconnect.
Okay, so your question is, how are the Africans relating to the brothers and sisters coming over there?
Well, they seem to have a problem with they're having a problem with the Jews in general. They're really having a problem with the Jews. And from what the history of what happened with the Ethiopians, a lot of Africans distrust Jews. So I think it's a little bit foreign to them to deal with a black Jew and to push that, because most African countries are animist mixed with Christianity in some way or another.
Okay. Let me answer that, brother. I appreciate your question. I'm going to answer that, and peace and blessings to you.
Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Yep. You know, and there's been a lot of talks about, you know, the reception of brothers and sisters coming, or as he say, black Jew who's coming from, you know, the diaspora around the globe over into Africa. Is it the case that we are either being, you know, mistreated, or we are being overlooked, or we're not being embraced or accepted? You know, I'm going to say this right here. You know, I don't think that's the case. Because I believe that most of Africa, majority of Africa, are lost themselves. They don't know even, we coming into a country are like strangers to them. Really, we are. And many are trying to figure out who we are. And whether you want to use the title of you know, Hebrew Israelites, or if you want to use whatever religion association that you have, many are ignorant to those names. Many don't know what that means. And so I don't think, in my personal opinion, I've been to 26 countries. I have not been asked about my affiliation of religion, though there are those who do wonder either two things: am I Christian or am I Muslim? Hebrew Israelite, but the majority of Africans don't even know what a Hebrew Israelite is. But on the other side of it is that most of them aren't even interested in whether or not you are religious or you are Christian or you are Muslim. Their most interests are that here's one coming from a different land who might have money that I can sell him something. So I know that, yes, I do videos of things that might happen or be that transpire that are dealing with an African American community or a people. But don't get the message wrong in thinking that that is a means of attack based upon who we are, because that is far from what's actually happening. It's that we are coming into the land that many people never met a Black American. They are used to Europeans coming on tours or for vacations. They are used to that. But Black American is a new thing. Canadian, Black Canadian, or from the UK, that we are entering these countries, that's all new to them. They ain't never seen that before. So it's foreign, and they're trying to figure out, where do y'all come from? Because a lack of their history in the Atlantic slave trade. Very few understand the Atlantic slave trade if you're not sitting on the coastal lines where there is slave dungeons. Many don't even know. Many that are there in the country where it is don't even know. You know how it is being in America. How many people really know what's around them in the next state over? How many Black folks actually been to some of these states that you have seen that was in the history, the Grand Canyon, and, whether it's the, New York City, the Statue of Liberty, whether it's out on the West over there in Seattle, Washington, where, you have all of these things spread across the globe. I've been to all 50 states. I've been to every monument. Me and my wife been to the Underground Railroad from Louisiana to Florida all the way we went into Canada, knowing the native history all the way from New Mexico all the way to Alaska. We've been, diving into these historic places, the history, what we were learned, to try to find the truth of what the matter is. That's how the Africans are ignorant to a lot of African Americans coming into Africa. They don't even know what the religions are. Most of them, like, if it ain't Catholic, for those who claim to be Christian in majority of the countries, they don't know about it. Because most are Muslims or some affiliation of Christianity. And typically it will be a Roman Catholic Christianity. Who else got questions right here? I'm putting a link in here because we're talking about the African Americans getting lost into the American web of lies. They've told us, let me drop another dime or gold nugget on you all, because of the fact that, we've talked about some of these lies that we have subscribed to. While we're watching our children, for those who've come in, please rewind the videos, because I've showed these 4 YouTubers who are showing the homelessness. But it's not about the homelessness, y'all. It is, but it's about the story that is told. That is that is the pulse of the moral values, or the so-called give you the idea of what's going on in these households, what's actually happening to people, what their experiences are, which led them, which is the end result of being homeless. How do these people get strung on drugs and alcohol? How do they get, wind up getting these diseases, or how they wind up getting, becoming pimps, prostitutes, and drug pushers? And, how do these people become that? Listen to their stories. This is what's happening to your neighbors and your house. And we all know it, and we all zip our lip, and we act like America's the greatest country. The link is in the chat. You got a question? Ask a question. It ain't about to be Africa. It could be about damn Erica. Put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica. Because I can tell you, there are many people who come to me and say, I've never had a father. I've never had a positive uncle. I've never had a man in my life that I could at least can hear who's speaking some sense like I be doing. You look at the majority of the households, the black folk, black community is raised by the woman. And that is not to smear our black women. It's the fact that black women were here they were raising children in their own philosophy, their own view, their own biased opinions, their own life experiences. And the children done took on that mindset. And what's left out is the masculine side of the house. That's why I said woman has spoken. Now it's time for the men to speak. Now I know some women gonna beat up and say, oh, well, hold up, man. The men has to take responsibility too, because I mean, it takes two to tango and have the baby. But hold up, wait a minute. Because the women argue and say it's their body. Nobody should be able to tell them what they can do with their body. So if a woman chooses to have that child, and the father or the father of that child chooses that they don't want it, the woman makes the decision, right? So then that means she says that she is capable and able to be able to raise that child in the way it should go. So be it. But don't come back and say that that you chose to have the baby, and we see the repercussions, we seeing the consequences thereof of what the society is. And I'm not just blaming the women, because men they need to take responsibility too. But what I'm saying is the fact that why aren't the women giving the children to the fathers? Because the world done told you that it was your baby. When in actuality, when you really think about it, if it's the sperm that is the living soul that's swimming to the egg to park into, to grow into, and the woman is the carrier, isn't it really the dad's baby? I know it's both of theirs, but what I'm saying though is that can't we even look at things differently than what they told us how things are supposed to be? Douglas says it's over. We're doomed. When you look at the youth, you can see how the future is. This is how you look. It's no different than how every child born, America or any society has a dollar amount put on that child on what the society can bet on what they will bring to the table as far as income generating for the country will be. If that's the case, then why are we not looking at it in that sense when it comes to the bringing up, or those who could bring up a child to be fruitful, to add to a system instead of taking away from a system? No more calls? Got a call that came in. I'm going to have to see your face if you call in, because that's what grown folks do. Plus, they have these hackers out here who are showing these videos, these provocative videos and stuff like that. And so you're going to have to show your face. All righty. Hello, miss. How are you doing?
Hello. How are you today?
I am doing great. Oh, you doing the same?
It's the topic. I just kind of logged on really quick and heard a little bit, not the entirety, when you were speaking about single mothers and, you know, accountability and things like that.
What's your question?
Say that again.
What's your question?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. I just have a short statement. And this is really, I'm speaking from myself.
Okay, go ahead.
I chose to, you know, like you were saying, women say that they have a right to their body. Nobody can tell them this, that, and the third. Well, you know, I chose to have my 2 kids. Mm-hmm. No one held a gun to my head. Mm-hmm. I wish I had that opportunity to, as far as my son goes, to have him with his father, because my personal opinion, I feel that boys need to be with their dads. I didn't have that opportunity because of the choice that I made in a man. So when I chose to have kids, I took on full responsibility, never bashing the dad or anything like that. It's just unfortunate that he did not, he was just not fit enough. So it goes back to my choice of a man that I chose.
Well, when you say he was not fit enough, what do you mean by that? Because
his lifestyle was not, he was.
So you had the baby with a guy who wasn't fit enough. You're saying
it was my choice.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So now you're saying you wished you would have thought a little differently back then before having even your son, because that decision.
That's the type of person that I chose. He was a college student. I was out of college. He was still kind of lingering in college. Long story short, he ended up going to the NFL briefly, and deciding that me and my unborn child, he didn't want that. So I said, okay, you go on, and I'm going to, assume this responsibility on my own. And that's what I did. I never blamed, because at the end of the day, it was my choice.
But let me ask you this right here, because I know sometimes this when you say he wasn't fit and it was your choice, it speaks volumes then where you fit, because if you're connected with somebody who's not fit, that means you're not fit.
And that's why I'm saying people can bash men and do this and that. But at the end of the day, it was my choice to date him. It was my choice to, at the end of it, to have a child. He wasn't fit as far as he was not mature enough and ready and willing to have a family. I was on the more, in that direction of wanting to, have that family and all that. He wasn't. So
where's the dad right now?
He's in town, but as far as being in his life, it's really not, because of the issues that my son is having because of that, not having that role model and having someone who's a role model that's, that displays maturity.
He doesn't see his son?
No. And if he does, my son's older now. So, he's 18. So he sees him on his own time.
Okay. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
So, but I hope people don't get into, bashing these men. I mean, we know that there's some issues in our community, but then, you have to step back and look at yourself, is that I chose to be with this person and I chose to have a child. So you have to choose to take care of your responsibility and your choices.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And I appreciate that, sister, for you just coming in and sharing that, because it comes down to choices, and it's sad that here in society that many people are making choices and not even realizing the effects it will have on children. Because that's the ultimate effect the result that happens really is, how are my children going to deal with not having the other parent in their life, which you're going to find if you even those YouTube channels that I went on when they are speaking to the homelessness, you can see it and hear it when they describe how dysfunctional their house was. And I wish people would watch it, because our actions and what we do has an ultimate effect on the future and our children.
And I'm living that today as we speak, the effects. A lot of people say, I'm your mama and your daddy. No, you're not. You're not a man. You don't have a penis. You can't teach him how to. And, I don't like going on YouTube, telling all my business, but just when my son was little and I noticed that how he used the bathroom. One day I noticed that he wasn't using the bathroom like a boy is supposed to use the bathroom. He would sit and pee. Boys don't sit and pee. Yeah. So I had to just certain things I noticed that he was doing that women did. I had to check him on that. It's like, no, you stand up, you hold your thing, you pee, you shake it, you wash your hands, you do this and that. So it was just little things and it's And it affects them after a while because that absence, you know, boys long for that. You know,
you're right. I'm not trying to cut you short. I got a couple people I'm gonna bring in because this conference comes to a close. But I appreciate you just sharing that.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. Yeah, lead yourself. What's good with you? What question you might have? What you got for us? Let me take you off of mute.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yes.
Hello, Go Black. Thank you for adding me on. My question is, what like for me? I'm a young man, 35 years old. I listen to you a lot. I follow you a lot, your conversations and everything. And as you can see on my tag, which is Lead Yourself, it's like I'm so complicated. I mean, I'm so confused on what to believe, how to believe, where to go, because as you know, you can find good people and bad people in all races and everything. You understand? And my question is like, how do you know what is right? So for me, I was more so, okay, I need to more so just use my personal experience or my intuition to nature as a guide to decide whether it's right or wrong or makes sense or not. And that's one of the reasons that I connect with you, and specifically because I feel that that is the base of your communication, regardless the respect that you give to different parts of religions and traditions and culture. I see that you align things with your personal experience. Understand? So my I'm more just saying that like, do you think that
how do you know which direction to go, or how do you know what's right or wrong?
Yes, or like what is your perception on a person that's kind of because of his experience, it's like everybody tell him to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and everything. But then you lose yourself, and you lose yourself in the mix. So, what is your advice for a young man, even or younger than me, or even older, trying to just find balance with with everyone trying to tell him what to do and what is right?
Got you. Let me ask you this question right here. Are you a Christian, Muslim, Rasta? What are you?
I'm a part of the African Hebrew Israelites in Dimona in Israel.
Oh, okay. Well, you asking a question that you already got the answer, but I'm just, but I like the question because others can hear and listen to this answer.
Okay.
You know. So I appreciate you right there. I'm going to answer, but I'm going to let you go ahead and go. Okay. All right. So he asked the question, you got a lot of people who's bombarding one about, all their opinions. Many people got their vices. Many people are drowning you with what they thinks, and yet it will drive you crazy. Yes. My thing is that first and foremost, if you don't have something to stand on, now he happened to be affiliated with the Hebrew Israelites of Dimona. They have wisdom. And what's wisdom mean? Wisdom means a principle. It means a standard. It means commandments and laws that you stand on. There's something that you stand on, statutes that you stand on, what's right and wrong. And that never shakes, because the world will press against you, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. Theirs happen to be the laws of the Most High, which you can find in the Torah, right? Which is laid out of the commandments or the laws. Now, many people get afraid when you start talking about scriptures and ancient writings or the biblical writings and stuff, because it's been used and abused by so many of these snakes in the grass that, people run from it, and people's never even looked into it to see, is there truth to the matter of what is right and wrong that has been created for this universe? And my thing is that if you do yourself a favor and remove all the opinions and the views, and yes, stand on what the universe laws are. What's the first and foremost truth? The first and foremost truth of the universe is that there is a creator. And I know man did not create this universe. So now we can argue about what created it, but we can agree that we didn't create it. So can you submit yourself to that? There is a creator or a entity, an essence of life that this all stemmed from. That's the hardest thing a man can ever submit to, that understanding. Once one can, then where do you go from there in a truth seeking or finding? What I like about scriptures, the scrolls, the ancient writings that I call it, is that there are those who were in the same positions that many of us were. But there were those who actually started to write when they had their long life experience, those elders who come to understand life in different perspectives. And what is that? There are things that were tried and true to know what are true or not. Whether it says man should not sleep with his daughter, or his son should never sleep with his mother. These are things that are written that came to understand these are not things that are of a truth. Why? Because there are consequences that come out of that. There are things that come out of that makeup. Whether you say finding out that truth that, hey, there will be deformities, there will be psychological issues, there will be things that will happen when you break out of this. Men have written along by life experiences, trying things out to find whether they are true or not, but also being revealed to you within inside. No different. If I walk up to you and slap you in the face, why would you get mad? Because you know that was not right. Well, you established a right and a wrong. You said it was wrong for me to slap you. There is an inherent knowing of a truth that are on the surface of things of man behaving with man behaving with nature that is inherent in you. The sad part about it is that the world that you live into, they've cluttered it and smeared it, and they've blurred the lines of knowing what right and wrong is. So you go along with the world untold you. So you got to push out these people who got all these different ways of life, of belief systems and views and opinions, and get back to the crux of what the universal true laws are. Once you get to a place of there, now you can stand on it, but the world's going to press against it and people are going to persecute you for it. When you talk about gays, people are going to argue and yell against you. Well, hold up. You got to stand firm on it. Look, man, woman, child. That right there is a truth. Why? Without man and woman, there can't be no child. Without that, there wouldn't be people on earth. Man and man can't create a child. So we know that is a truth, that a man and a woman creates a child. What's so hard about that? It's because the world wants to blur the lines. The world wants to go ahead and tell you what it wants to do. And that is from a European mindset. African Americans getting lost into American web of lies. Our children have done turned gay. Our children are questioning their genders. Our children's getting caught up into these drugs. Our children's turning their backs on a spiritual truth. The adults are doing it. All because of these wolves in sheep's clothing, these liars, these scoundrels, these scammers, these thieves, these robbers are out here blurring the lines of what truth is and what a lie is. I hope that helped many of you all right there. Peace and blessings to you, Roosevelt Brown. What question do you have for me? What's good with you?
Hey, brother. Good to see you. This is an excellent, as usual, broadcast. My question, brother, is surrounding the validity of investing in a place. I'm sure, I think you know where I am now, and I've just had some misgivings watching the videos, you know, but being here and seeing different ways that things are handled when it comes to purchasing, and it's just, I don't know, it seems like a turncoat situation. It seems like a bait and switch situation, and you know, without, like I say, just getting into direct detail with where I'm at. My question is, do you have a particular region? And I know this is probably too broad, because each man has to choose, but do you have a particular region that you feel is more friendly toward being a place from refuge from damn Erica's financial assault, and a place where you can pretty much trust that there are not any allegiances that would have you behind the 8 ball being who you are? And if you understand that question, brother, I'll leave it there and you can go at it.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'll answer the question. Peace and blessings to you, brother. I'm going to set you off the side of the camera, and I'm going to come to a close. Yes. So my brother, he's asking that, how does one know a place to where you could gravitate to that is of a peace, a place you can find liberty, a place that you could possibly find freedom? Is there a place that I know of that exists like that? Well, in Africa, I've been to 26 African countries. And so I have had the experience to at least some, I've been there a short period of time, some longer than others. And that's one of the most important things that I look at, especially when me and my wife are starting to embark on traveling the world, is that where place will be conducive to us when it comes to settling down, making it a home, or making it a base place for us to rest our heads for a long duration. Well, let me just say this first and foremost. One has to get to a place of rest and liberty within themselves. You have to get to a place, because not everybody can just uproot, leave, fly, and go to a place that might be of peace. You see, you can get to a place that there's so much chaos going around you, you still could smile. There are people that I've met like that. There are places out here that, you might go here and think it's a place of rest, and then something pops off, and then you got to uproot and go to somewhere else, all because of something that happens. We do know that. But if I understand my brother correctly, and I know he's talking in a sense of, a place to move, and a place to, at this moment in time, that would be friendly, or a place that will be, one could be accepting, I'm gonna say that that is predicated on you as the individual. Because what I find that might be a place of liberty and peace, another man might find it not to be. Why do I say that? It's because we all have different characteristics. Some have more patience than others. Some have more understanding than others. Some have less head stress. Some have more a different perception in what they see, because what I see, not everybody sees. Believe me, I've used to recommend places to people, and people were like, it's not what I thought you were. You said this, but it ain't that. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. My lens is totally different than yours. This is no different than me, us having conversations right now about me, but telling people that America is spiritually falling crazy and people are losing their minds. And I've given you example after example of showing you videos and telling you what my wife as a doctor has said, that the people are coming in to see her, that this America is a sick-minded country. But people argue against me about that. And say, man, what are you talking about, man? You're crazy. So I can say, yeah, this country, that country, this country, there, go here, there. It's what is it within you? Because where it is in you, you're going to know that place when you get there, because it won't be a struggle. It won't be a strain, because the Most High says that, that when one encounters into the dimension of peace, blessed, the Beatitudes, when one walks into a place, I'm talking about within himself, to understand this is my peace, and I don't give it and surrender to anybody, that I can walk around here with all the chaos that's going around. I still can keep my mind and my mentality, my psychology, my psychological health. I can go into places and I will be able to discern by just the encounter of people, my business I do, is this really the place for me? There's many places in Ghana that many people in Ghana that love Ghana and have been there for 30, 40 years and have been trying to convince me Ghana is not that bad. And I say Ghana's not that bad, but Ghana's not for me. Ghana's not for me. Because I know where and where I know where I am and what I want. So then that I can't share with somebody what is for them, but I believe that I've been in countries that I'm like, wow, I can get down with this. It's been Zambia was one place that I found was a very peaceful place for me. And I know that the people are, it's a total different business in how they do things. It's a different way of life, how they do things. All the countries are like that. It all comes and stems down to how are you built as an individual and what is in you. You know, I got to work on some of my patience. I got to work on some of my ways of thinking. I got to work on these things, and they're not conducive to some of these societies. So I come into closing. I hope I answer my brother's question, because in deep down inside, the voice speaks to you and lets you know. It's just that we fight against it. We have friction against it when we know the truth, and we'll battle against the truth in trying to stay or do what we want to do. And the results keep being in the opposite in what you're wanting. And it keeps coming up and it's opposite and it's opposite. And you keep bumping your head against it, talking about, nah, I mean, but I'm too invested into this. I'm too far into it now. Or I spend a lot of money into it. I spend a lot of time with this person. I've been in it, and you fighting to be into this whole thing. And yet the truth has been in you for years that this person, this business, this place, this whatever is not for you. With that, family, I have to go. But it's been a great experience. I thank each and every one of you all for coming in. Thank you for the people who came on to ask questions, those who had comments, the people in the chat. I appreciate your kind words, your prayers, those people who even gave financially, you know, blows my mind. But thank you all for just coming in, just hearing that how we have to get to a place of a spiritual discernment and seeing where we're sitting at. Are you fighting against the truth? Has the voice been telling you it's time for you to uproot and go on to greener pastures? Whether on your job, whether in a relationship, whether in a business, whether it may be in the country. How do you know? This is two questions that were asked today. How am I supposed to know? That's where your connection with the Most High. And how do you connect? Get in your quiet place. Take the earbuds out. Turn off the TVs. Turn the music off and sit quiet and still. And let the words of wisdom fall right into you. Remove those negative people. Remove yourself from the places that you go that are sucking the ability to hear, the ability to see spiritually truths. That's all the blurs and the delusions and illusions that we live in. We have to unravel all them layers of lies in order for us to get back to a right standard, to hear clearly and to see clearly. And I'm here to tell you this right here, because I had to do it myself. If you are using substances that get away from your free thinking, spiritually, drugs, alcohol, and anything else is going to pull you out of being in that consciousness to hear, I'm telling you right now, you're just a sitting duck wasting your time. With that, family, I got to go. This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside.